Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Dave Yarnell. Dave will be hopping on a little bit. He has a little technical difficulties going on. But, Dave, man, the Super Bowl's over, brother. How you been, first of all, man?
Oh man, I've been doing pretty good. It's been crazy out here. The weather's been, we had snow the other day, and now it's a little chilly out. It's like 45, 46. Kids had off the other day from school. It's been crazy around here. So,
Man, I'll tell you what, Dave. I'll tell you what, betting on NFL is kind of like iffy. You never know, especially this game here. But I'll tell you one thing. Other than betting on football, I'll tell you what, man. I can never bet on the weather, brother, because I was supposed to get 6 to 8 inches. And, brother, I got 6 to 8 minus. I didn't get crap up here. Like, I don't know what's harder, betting on NFL or, like, being a meteorologist, because I don't believe these news. But, Dave, first off, real quick, I want to say, guys, tonight, right now, we are live, and we are a minute 42 seconds into this game, this show, and we have 29 live viewers on Facebook.
Wow, that's a lot.
So I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. Leave us some comment there. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what your thoughts are. But, Dave, let's hop into this, brother. Super Bowl weekend is finally over. The NFL season's over. Dave, back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, congrats to Kansas City. Well deserved. A 3 seed that was not even supposed to go as far as they did. Nobody thought they would go that far. With the Andy Reid trio and losing, their main guy that went to Miami. Everything was pretty much against them, and they pretty much, they did it. They made it happen.
Agree. I mean, you thought about this year, Dave. Going through all the seasons. Dan and
Tyreek Hill. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Tyreek. Well, there you go. Yeah, you lose players like that, but you think about this. We did the whole season this year, from week 1 all the way to here, picking every game. But the one thing we always said in the beginning is, wow, Kansas City at the end of the year here, going into the playoffs, they're limping in, not being the Kansas City team that they should have looked like throughout the season. But, man, I tell you what, Dave, there's that thing called, as we always say, flipping the switch at the right moment. And, Dave, I tell you what, there's something in Patrick Mahomes' head where he just says, you know what, okay, we're limping in the playoffs here. We're road teams. We're not playing at home anymore. But you know what? Let me turn that switch on, and let me kick that switch on right now. Dave,
it's amazing to me, Paul, how they did it. I mean, you figure they had that first playoff home game where it was like minus the wind chill factor was like minus 20, whatever it was. Andy Reid had icicles coming off his mustache. That's how cold it was. Yeah. They won that game. Then they went into Buffalo. Proved everybody wrong there, but on the Josh Allen train. Josh Allen this, and Buffalo's have this explosive offense with Diggs and and their tight end and and their defense. But then Kansas City goes into Buffalo and makes it happen, and then they get to the AFC Championship game, going to Baltimore, which everybody said they had no shot to do, and next thing you know, they shut down the MVP himself, made that happen. So it was a great run.
Agree. I mean, you talk about what you just said there, Dave. You go into Baltimore, arguably one of the best defenses in NFL this year. You contain, I don't want to say you stop Lamar, but you contained him to what his advantages are, running the ball. Make him beat you by throwing the ball. And you know what? I give so much credit to Spagnuolo. And he got a 5-year extension to that 4-year.
I heard that. Yeah.
That was a great move. Kudos to him, of course, for getting that, because, man, 3 Super Bowls by Spags, man, it's insane what he does. And it goes to show you that if you're well prepared, and you have 2 great coaches like Andy Reid, of course, and Steve Spagnuolo, it can put you in a position to win, Dave, because this team is built for the playoffs. And I tell you what, Isaiah Pacheco, how way he runs the ball, angry, how he runs the ball, physical, it deems that playoff situation where this team can go far. And when Dave, I'll tell you what, I'll just put this in a nutshell. If I ever bet against Patrick Mahomes again, slap me in the goddamn face.
Well, I tried to tell you, you don't bet against 1-5. He's just too good.
No.
And I was surprised going into the Super Bowl. I thought San Francisco played a great game. I thought both teams were great, but at the end of the day, it was all about 1-5.
And St. checks in. He says that Josh Allen is overrated like Parsons and Lamar. Parsons? Are you talking about Micah Parsons there?
I don't think Mike is overrated, but that's just another story.
I do agree with Josh Allen. Of course, I think this year is going to be a reload year for him. Diggs is not happy. They have no salary cap money right now, and what? They have so many puzzle pieces to fix. Danny is actually going to be on in about 30 minutes there and saying he's having a little difficulty, so he will be hopping on as soon as he gets on here. So he'll definitely be hopping on. But, yeah, let's get back to this game here, Dave. I mean, There's a couple topics I do want to talk about this, but let's talk about this San Francisco team. What do you, other than we'll talk about some. We won't talk about the coin toss yet. We'll keep that
Mm.
later. But Dave, what happened? I mean,
San Francisco had their opportunities, Paul. Think about it. I mean, they had. I mean, McCaffrey fumbled the ball on the one drive. That was that hurt them. And go back to the punt. That was the fumble on the punt where it hit the guy's leg. And Kansas City, they recovered it and they had good field position there. That was a loss for them.
Mhm.
And then they lose their defensive player who goes onto the field. And I think it was a hamstring, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was. If that was the case,
I heard it was an Achilles, most likely.
Achilles. Okay, Achilles hamstring, and it was something in that matter. I mean, he didn't do anything. He was going onto the field and he fell.
It was insane. I'm watching it. It was a big stop, and all of a sudden I see Greenlaw, on the sideline, just jumping up and down, ready to go. And I'm like, oh man, this defense is hyped. They're ready to go. Next thing I know, I see him go down on a non-contact injury, holding his leg, and I see Warner right next to him put his hands on his head like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
He knew right away because somebody put it on Twitter, like a voice caption of it, and he was screaming this, that, and the other thing. He knew right then and there.
Well, and it was funny because if you watched on the opposite side of the field, Mahomes saw it right away. And he's like he's down. The man's down. He's even the Kansas City Chief, the bench was like, what's going on? Why is he injured?
I was gonna say they even showed Shanahan on the sideline, like what happened to him? What did he do? What did he do? And everybody's like, he's done, coach. He's done. But that was a huge advantage there. I mean, that's a superior linebacker that can cover everything. But I want to say this, Dave. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, 80 yards. Okay, no TDs, kept him out of the end zone.
Oh, he had one. He had one.
He didn't have any touchdowns.
Yes, he did on the reverse.
It was a pass. It's considered a
pass. Yeah, okay.
Not rushing wise. Not rushing wise.
Okay, right. Not rushing wise now. Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, you keep him at 22 for 80 there, Dave. That's an incredible stat there. But, Dave, my thing is, as a coach, I always say bleed the well until the well runs dry.
Right.
Why did you not continue to give him the ball in the fourth quarter?
I was thinking that the same way. Now that's not like Shanahan at all. Shanahan he's one of those guys. He likes to run the ball. Being an offensive mind that he is. I was surprised about that, but I got to be honest. I didn't. I don't know what they were thinking there.
I mean, it's you can flip the script here, Dave. Kelce didn't have the greatest game 1 through 4. He only had 4 catches going into the fourth quarter here. Then he had 1 in the fourth quarter late, and that's when he surpassed. What we'll talk about later, but. You always give your best player the ball, and that tells me something that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is going to say, like, you know what? Well, it's crucial time here. It's flip the script right now. Let's win this game. Hey, Kelce, I know, me and you, Andy saying, me and you had a little disagreement here, but, buddy, it's time now. My best player is Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce. Let's get him the ball here. 3 catches on that final drive, Dave.
Yeah, it was amazing. That final drive was, going back to the coin toss, but besides that final drive by Kansas City was amazing. And how many times? And I think that 4th and 1 was the biggest play of the game, if you think about it, because Mahomes took he took like 15 yards on that one, on that 4th and 1.
Well, going back to that play there, Dave, we'll get into that a little bit later, like reaching into it. But you're right. That 4th and 1 was really crucial. I want to talk about that a little bit later because that goes back to. More of the coin toss to me,
Yeah, right. I got
playing the coin toss. So we'll definitely talk about that. But
right.
Dave, Brock Purdy didn't have a bad game. 33 for 38, 255, 1 TD. Sacked 1 time, 1 out of 4, 1 time for 4 yards. But Dave, I don't understand why they abandoned what San Francisco football is all about, taking away the run number 1 from out of McCaffrey's hand, your best player there. And the other thing I want to talk about is. Dave, Deebo Samuel's only 3 catches.
I know. It blew my mind how they didn't use him as much as they did. They should have. I agree.
We talked about him, the X factor, possibly either being Deebo. Ayuk 3 catches.
Where was Kittle, bro? Where was Kittle?
Dave, that's the thing. I don't understand. 2 catches for Dave, 4 yards. I can count on one hand.
Nowhere to be found in this game.
4 yards, 2 catches.
Blew my mind.
And Dave, prior to the last week when we talked about going into the game, we talked about levels of progression for the San Francisco team. You run the ball up front with CMC. He's arguably still the best running back in the game to me right now.
No doubt.
Hands down. You run the ball with him. that second level comes in with a Kittle, a Debo, Ayuk. Then
Ayuk, yeah.
you can still stretch the field down to the third level here. Get behind the linebackers, because to me, the Chiefs had better linebackers in the game. But I'm sorry, secondary, corners and secondary, they had the better there. But the advantage was to the Niners in that second level. They don't have Greenlaw. They don't have Warner. That's where I thought Kittle would be a huge asset. 2 catches, 4 yards, Dave.
Well, there was one play. If you go back, I think Purdy went back to pass and he went into the end zone, and the defensive or safety, I think it was a safety for Kansas City, made a beautiful play in the end zone.
Oh,
I mean,
he did.
Yeah, I mean, the throw. Purdy put the ball there. It was a good throw. The guy just he put his hand up and he blocked it. I mean, if he catches that, touchdown San Francisco, and then we got a different game.
Well, the game definitely could have been different, Dave. There was 1 to Debo going down to the end zone. He overthrew him. He was 2 steps ahead. That was a clear touchdown. And then there was another on the sideline as well. But, hey, things happen in football, man. You overthrow a wide receiver.
I'll tell you, there was one guy on that field that I was really impressed with, man. He put a lot of pressure on Purdy all day. And you know who he is. That'd be Chris Jones. Chris Jones, baby. That guy is I'll tell you, he's a beast. He really is a good player.
Going back to that name there, in the regular season, OTAs, he sat out that contract deal. When he came back, the defense, there's certain players on the defense, Dave, that light you up. Like, if I'm the all-pro, lineman, Dave, even as secondary or linebacker, like, oh, great, we got Paul back here. That's fine. He's going to put pressure. We can, we have that extra second there. All we got to do is just say, okay, you know what? Contain him for 3 seconds, not 4 seconds when you have pressure. But you're right. Chris Jones, man, this dude is an absolute beast. I think he's going to break the bank next year, honestly.
I never seen a guy change a game as much as he can. It's amazing.
I mean, he's one of those ends that just control the game. He's nasty is what he does, Dave. But
even Baltimore, when they played the AFC Championship game, he was all over the field too. I mean, he's just a beast all around, that kid.
And you know what the thing is, I'm looking at this box scores here, David. I wrote some of them down here to talk about them. Christian McCaffrey was our leading rusher, of course, 22 for 80. But Dave, he was the leading catcher at 8 for 80 as well.
Yeah. Well, like we said, I mean, the receivers for San Francisco just weren't there, right? It just wasn't, except for I think Brandon Ayuk had a few catches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 3, Dave, for 49.
Okay.
I mean, nothing. I mean, here's McCaffrey 8, Ayuk 3, Jennings 4, Debo 3, Husak 2, Ray McLeod had 1, Conley had 1, and Kittle had 2, Dave.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
they did put a lot of pressure on Purdy, though. I mean, he was a lot of times he wasn't comfortable in that pocket a lot too.
So you know what? I'm not going to take away anything from Kansas City. Their defense played just insane is what I want to say the word is. But
totally,
Dave, there's ways to beat an aggressive defense, man. This offense for the Niners has so many weapons where, you know what? Don't crowd the box. Play the box outside. Think outside the box here. Great segue out of the box there, but you spread the field, Dave. You put it. We'll talk about that last play of the game. Trips right. As Andy Reid ran it.
I'll tell you, Andy couldn't have developed that any better. That play was amazing.
Well, I'll send you a video. I don't have the video here, but I'm going to put it to the group chat. I seen prior to the game, he was talking to a consultant who does all the plays on the play sheet for Andy Reid, and he was saying, he was like, okay, what's the next play? He said something like, put it at the very bottom. We might use it. We're going to go trips right, F shuttle, Tom and Jerry. Then he goes, who's the motion? He's like, Miko is the motion man. He's the X. He's the shuttle, F shuttle. Dave, he is such a magician when he comes to play calling. But going back to that, Dave, you have to spread this field, man. If you're getting so much pressure from Chris Jones, you know what? Let him come in. Come in. Over aggressive is fine with me. I love when a defense is over aggressive because I'll say, you know what, Dave, you're coming at me every time here. Come on in. I'm going to just run a hot right here, hot route, slant here, or just run a little scat outside, make you over aggressive. But Dave, who do you blame for this? From first quarter to fourth quarter, who do you blame for the San Francisco 49ers? We're not talking overtime yet. We're not talking.
Okay. We're just talking first to fourth quarter.
Who do you blame for this, Dave?
Well, there's a lot of blame to go around, Paul. I mean,
who's the leading candidate, Dave? Who is that one dude with the target on his back?
I hate to say Steve Wilkes, but to me that's wrong.
It's definitely wrong.
I say Shanahan, if anybody.
I think it starts with your head coach, doesn't it?
Exactly. I would say Shanahan. That would be my.
I completely
pick.
agree. I mean, number one is just okay. You're in the game. Of course, I understand. Overthrown balls that happens. Every quarterback throws them. You could be Joe Montana, Tom Brady. We've all thrown bad balls.
Montana wins that game.
Well, you never know. If you're a receiver, well, you never know, Dave. I mean, if you're my number one wide receiver and I overthrow you, I know your speed. I'm going to blame both sides of the ball there, but it happens. But you're in this game, Dave. You're in this game. So play calling to me down the road here. When you know what, to me, why throw the ball go into that fourth quarter when you have the lead to go into score the game? Why not take pressure off yourself and run the damn ball? Run the damn ball. Take the time on the clock. Because, brother, listen, 1 minute and 50 seconds is 4 quarters for Patrick Mahomes to come back.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It just drives me insane. It really does.
Same thing for Brady too. If you think about it, I mean, minute 50 for Brady is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, but you got arguably the GOAT 2.0 here. The GOAT 2.0 here.
I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks with the minute 50 left that I'd like to have. Mahomes being definitely one of them, but Brady being number 2.
Definitely, there's quarterbacks out there that put the switch on.
Give me a Marino, give me a Montana, give me guys like that.
Yeah. I mean, I could agree with that, but let's talk about the side of the ball in San Francisco here. Fred Warner, man, played his ass off. 15 tackles, 9 solo tackles. He was all over the field. And I tell you what, when Greenlaw went out, it was just a thing like, you know what?
I mean, their faces dropped, Paul, when he went out. It was like they couldn't get it. What happened?
Yeah, but you know what? Next man up, man. Next man up.
I totally agree with that.
Their defense is fine. I mean, their defense was good. They stayed in the game there. But, you think about the Kansas City offense side of the ball there, Dave. Let's talk about that. That's just the talk about of the game, basically. Kansas City. Mahomes, Dave, 34 for 46, 333.
He didn't have such a great first half, though. He was off the first half. He couldn't get it going like first couple quarters. If you think
everybody, I was watching a lot of Twitter reactions to Facebook, and I tell you what, Dave, number one, I'm going to argue with anybody about this when they say, "Man, this game is boring." I'm like, well,
I saw a couple people say that. Yeah,
I don't know what the hell you're watching, because I'll tell you what, I'm an offensive guy. I like explosion on offense, but I tell you what, this opened my eyes, saying like, wow, this Niners defense is aggressive. This San Francisco defense is aggressive.
Both defense came out strong. Yeah.
It was insane, and the people bite their words in the fourth quarter and say, "Oh shit, this game was awesome." Where were you in the first 3 quarters? I mean, enjoy the game.
I think to them it was a tale of 2 halves. I mean, people were just like, the first half was like, nobody's getting it started, nobody's running, nothing's really happening. And you got the second half, and it was like, wow, here we go.
Well, let's talk about one person, Dave. Obviously, the guy we're going to talk about is Patrick Mahomes here. Okay, let's talk about
1-5, man, 1-5.
333 yards through the air, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Like you said, first 3 quarters, not the greatest, but that fourth quarter, man, insane. It's a flip the switch moment. But Dave, the one thing I want to talk about is we really didn't see him run the ball this year as a running quarterback, which we know he can do. Playoff time, he moves the sticks when he has to.
But
Dave, leading rusher again, 9 carries, 66 yards, Dave.
He's amazing. He really is. Good quarterbacks make things happen, Paul. You know that.
It's mind blowing how this guy is. How he keeps playing by.
The 4th and 1 blew my mind. That huge run was absolutely awesome.
But Dave, that 4th and 1 was so good because you seen them bite so bad when Kelsey came across the middle there. What is your number one option? Of course, it's Kelsey.
It's
2 players bid on him, and the outside linebacker bid on him. The defensive end didn't stay home. He pulled out for the guy driving to the outside, the flat route. Mahomes just said, "Thank you, Andy. You called the perfect play."
Took off and slid, and there you go. I mean,
to me is doing your homework. Number one, putting in the positions, because number one, your number one read is going to be the Kelsey. Number 2 is most likely is going to be that flat route. Someone coming out of the back on a drag route there. Number 3 is Mahomes taking the ball, and it all depends on if that defensive end bites and says, "You know what? I'll give you the lane." But Dave, a lot of people don't talk about it. You got to get good at that offensive line.
Honestly, to me, I go back to that 4th and 1. I thought Pacheco was going to get the ball. That's what I was thinking. I thought Pacheco off tackle, get the 1 yard.
We had people over, and I were like, it was funny. Like we always actually coach. I coach for one team, they coach for another team, so we're all friends and stuff, coaches, and we're always sitting there. It's different when I watch the game with my friends up here. We all coach, so I'm sitting here like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's 4th and 1. I'm like, you
Right.
got to go to 15 here. He's going to bootleg outside and keep the ball. They're like, oh no, you got to give it to Pacheco. I was like, bro, they're having 9 guys in the box. It ain't going to work. You got to get outside. You got to get outside. And when that happened, we're sitting there, Dave, betting money like $5 a play. Like, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. You know, it's like when you're bowling the high pin. You know, whoever gets the highest pin on the frame. That's
I know that deal. Yeah,
we played a play on plays there, but it was an aggressive call, man. I tell you what, though. But Dave, let's go through the Kansas City roster. Kelsey, man,
wait, go back to that call though. Was that a Reed call or was that a Mahomes call? Who called that?
It's a Reed call. I mean, you have your options, of course. You have your options.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out who made that call. Was it Reed? Was it Mahomes?
No, I mean it has to be. It has to be. You know, it's play called in the huddle. You know, it's already play called there. But when you get to the line of scrimmage, Mahomes is that IQ quarterback, Dave. Lamar Jackson would have said, you know, if that's hardball, he would have said, run the fucking ball. That's all he would have said.
Right. But, most coaches would have. Right.
But when you have Mahomes, it's like, okay, you know, you call your play. We don't know what the play is called, but when Holmes sees that defensive end say, I got a shuttle outside, I'm going to give the lane here, the kick out block. Mahomes is just that type quarterback, Dave, to say, I'm gone. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy for me. But like I said, you got to give so much credit to that offensive line, Dave, because they pulled the left when the play went right.
Right.
From the right guard all the way to the left tackle, they pulled the left to open that hole up. So it was man on man, and that told you it was linebacker and defensive end, the only 2 people that are going to stop that play. The defensive end went out for the drag route. Warner on that play went outside and took Kelsey, double teaming him. That gave the play to Mahomes right away.
And that hole was wide open for him to go, and man, did he go. He took it.
It definitely was. Sure. Eileen, what's going on, Eileen? Hope you feeling
well. Hey, Eileen. How are you, babe?
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, go back to the game, Dave. You know, Dave, I don't know if I said it on our show last week, but I was talking to Phil. Who could be the X factor? What guy? Because we always know you try to take away Kelsey. They did for 4 quarters of the game, basically, Dave.
For the most part, they did. I mean, he had his catches, but it wasn't the Kelsey. He wasn't the Kelsey way that we're normally seeing him in the end zone. That's for sure.
No, but the one thing I said is familiarity. I don't know if I said this on familiar.
From God's. We got you.
Thank you. That word, yeah, I can't.
Familiarity, yes.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. That's why we get along, brother. You know. But I said that on one of the shows. I said that word there, that F word, familiar, whatever the hell it is. Whatever. Thank you, Dave. That word. Yes. But I said, what one person has that chemistry with Patrick Mahomes? Mecole Hardman.
Of all people, came from the Jets.
And it's funny. I said that. I think it was on the with my show with Phil, which we're going to be on right after this show.
Oh man,
I did say that. I was like, I think it's going to come down to a name. Like, and I even said, what about? I said Kadarius Toney. I'm like, no, he's a mind case. He ain't even going to show.
No, he wasn't even in the game.
And I said, Mecole Hardman. I think he's going to play a vital position in this game.
I would have thought Mecole Hardman of all people.
I said to myself when it happened, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It actually happened, you know.
Isn't it strange how you watch a game, okay, and you expect the obvious to score, and then there's one guy that you don't even think of, and that's the guy who gets the ball.
Well, that's the craziest thing, Dave. You take away your best player. You know, going back to Belichick, you take away your best player, but better players show up at the right time, which we've seen Kelsey. But the thing is, when you take away your best player, better players show up. Patrick Mahomes shows up, and he finds a player that says, you know what, man, this guy's not going to catch a ball in a crucial moment. You go to Mecole Hardman, Dave. You go to Mecole.
He was wide open. I mean, there was nobody around.
That play. I'll tell you what. You know, I got to read this comment in a second here.
If he drops that ball, he's done.
Well, here's the thing. Andy Reid has got to have a playbook about 16 years of plays that worked and didn't work. Because you know what, Eagles fans? Boy, I know you had a glimpse and glamour of what you seen last year. That X shuttle on the opposite side was the exact play that he ran against the Eagles last year. That Tom and Jerry play, that F shuttle, trips right, F shuttle, Tom and Jerry.
Nico comes in motion, going to his left, goes back to his right, and bang, there it was.
Dave, how many times did they ran that last year against the Eagles in the Super Bowl? They ran it 3 times, Dave. And that goes to show you that Andy Reid my hands hurts. That Andy Reid playbook is just so vital. Like, man, I tell you what, I want that playbook so bad because man,
you better call Andy.
Andy, please listen to me, brother. I got a new coaching job this year, and I need your playbook. You know, I tell you what, brother. I mean, I think I should change my offense to what Andy Reid does. But I tell you what, I don't have a quarterback like Patrick.
I'll tell you,
You know,
Andy's legacy is pretty huge. Let me tell you.
definitely. Anything else you want to talk about this game, Dave?
This game, I just was impressed how it was like, kind of, to me, it was like a tale of two halves. Because first half wasn't so great, and then the second half, just everybody, they started to play, and you could just see, like, the sacks and the catches, and it just it was back and forth. It really was. I mean, kudos to the field goal kickers. They did their job.
Not all the way, Dave.
Well, not all of them, but Harrison Butker did his job. I'll give him that.
He did. And I'll tell you what, Dave, the one person that I want to talk about, a lot of people say, I went into this game saying this game's going to be definitely close. I took the Niners by 3 points, or actually 2 points, 27-29, lost that one. But the one person that I want to say before I read this comment here, Dave, he's not a kicker, he's a punter. Tommy Townsend. This guy flipped the playing field for the Kansas City Chiefs, pinning them down at the 2-yard line, the 13-yard line, and the 17-yard line. Dave, this is called flipping the field. This guy gets no credit at all. But I tell you what, I give Kittle so much props for what he said after the Super Bowl. They interviewed him. I don't know where I seen it. He's like, what was the momentum change? He's like, you know what? I'm going to say this out there. I'm going to give love to a person that never is talked about. Tommy Townsend is what he called him. Tommy Townsend. He flipped the playing field for us when we needed it the most. We pinned him on the 3-yard line. Then they went 3 and out. That's what he said. Regarding the Kansas City guy, he was like, that was the momentum swing for us when we knew we got, like, holy shit. You know what I mean? It was insane how they flipped the script on that. But let's read this comment here. Michael Papernick checking in. Michael says, I'm so glad the 49ers lost. It felt so geared hearing the Niners whine and cry since they lost to the Eagles. And people said they would have beaten KC last Super Bowl if they were healthy. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't look. If Dallas lost to San Francisco in the NFC Championship, which they have, not the championship, the last 2 years knocking us out, I never discredit a team for where they are today. I'm different. I'm the type of person, you know what? Well, you know what? They're there. We're not. And neither is your team. Give them credit where they are. And I don't call them crybabies because, you know what? I hear a lot of freaking Eagles people's crying, talking about we lost this, we lost that, we shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hell, I'm not going to be that way. It's been 30 goddamn years, and I ain't going to say shoulda, coulda, woulda, So kudos to the first, the two teams that are in there. 25-22, 25-22. What better game than you can have to go into overtime?
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah,
but I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying because it's
for 49er crybabies, man. I'll tell you, I never seen a bunch of whining fans like they do. Amazes me.
Dave, it's every team, but you know what the thing is?
Well, I get it, but they're pretty bad though.
Dave, it's the media. It's the media, Dave.
Oh, sure.
They project one thing they see on there, and it's just so dimed and so multiplied millions of times where everybody gets a hold of it. The one person I can't stand, Stephen A. Smith. I can't stand that character.
I'm not a fan either.
Too, but you know what? It's all about the ratings, and one thing goes viral, they're going to see it. Look at Philadelphia. Sure. I'll tell you what, I hate Philadelphia. I really do. I lived there for 30 years.
I hear you.
Here's the thing. I respect their fans so much. 80% of them, the real fans, I respect them. The other 20%, 700 level fans, the other ones are still, this, that, and the other thing. But the thing is, too, to me, every team has a bad apple, and every team has a bad.
Sure, every team has it. It's known throughout. It's known throughout the NFL.
Yep. Michael says Kyle Shanahan 4 or 5 NFC championships, 2 Super Bowls. He's on the track with Andy. He is. But you know what the thing is, Michael? I enjoy that comment that you said there. It's talking about winning the big game, but there is a difference. I give Andy Reid so much credit, Michael. Let me know if you understand this, and how your opinion is with this. Andy Reid went to how many championships with the Eagles? 4 NFC
at least 3 or 4. Yeah.
Went to the Super Bowl, lost it, couldn't get over the pinnacle of the Super Bowl victory. Okay. Got to the NFC Championship, got to the Super Bowl, couldn't get over that pinnacle there. But you go back to Kyle Shanahan here, Dave. What is the difference between Shanahan and Andy Reid, these teams? Andy Reid had nobody. McNabb, 1 year with T.O. Pinkston, Thrash. Bullshit players, Dave. You go to the Niners team. Guy, come on, Dave. CMC, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle. The offensive line, a stout top to bottom NFC division or a conference defense, top 53 roster. There's a huge difference. Huge difference. So I think Shanahan, I love how Shanahan runs his team. But Dave, you know how I am, Dave. What have you done for me lately? And I'll tell you what, Shanahan, to me, is one of the most overrated playoff coaches I've ever seen.
He's starting to be. I mean, what's he 0-3 in the Super Bowl right now? Is that what it is?
0-3, yeah.
0-3. Yeah.
Yep. Michael says 5 NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl. Thank you, Andy. Michael.
Yeah, Andy went to 5. Okay, it was 5-8. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was 4. Yep, that's right.
No.
Andy won with Deuce, Chad, Lewis. Exactly. That's what I mean, Michael. 100%. I mean, you give credit to Andy Reid in certain ways. You respect what he did. But with the team that he got you with, Michael, as you said right here with Andy, with Deuce, Chad Lewis, compare this, Dave. Chad Lewis.
It's pretty much McNabb to Purdy, McNabb to Jimmy Garoppolo, McNabb to, I think it was.
I'm looking at this team.
So I'm saying McNabb was on all those championships with Andy. My point being,
with no weapons.
With no weapons, right? Exactly.
I mean, his bugaboo was play calling, of course. Not
sure.
Running the ball. Won't want to run the ball. Run the ball. Something that he's learned with
Pacheco. Was Kaepernick with Shanahan too? I believe he was.
Yes.
You go Kaepernick, you had Purdy, and you had Jimmy Garoppolo.
That was the year the lights went out.
Andy had McNabb all those times he was with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. And exactly, Michael. He had T.O. for 1 year, the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he had T.O. too. Yeah.
But you look at top to bottom roster. Of course, you give the San Francisco Niners the nod on both sides of the ball there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it is what it is with Shanahan. But Dave, enough about this game here. Kudos to San Francisco for making it. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short there.
Mm-hmm.
But Dave, let's talk about something really quick. I lost my goddamn mind on Twitter when this game went into overtime.
Am I the only person that doesn't go on Twitter? I just don't do it.
Dave, as soon as the overtime coin toss was, what did I say in the group chat? I don't fucking believe this. Did I say that?
you got your wish. That's for sure.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the play call, the coin toss in the overtime, Dave.
Oh, in the overtime. I thought you said the beginning. I'm sorry. My fault.
No, of course I won big time money on that. I told everybody out there, take the bet of the year. It's the lock of the year.
I was going to say, you got your lock of the year. What are you crying about?
No, but still, that coin toss, as soon as that coin toss went on in effect, Dave, I said, what in the hell is Shanahan thinking here? Why
should have gave the ball? Should have took the ball. Should have gave the ball to Mahomes in the first chance.
Why would you have deferred, Dave? Why would you have deferred?
I don't know what he was thinking there, Paul. Honestly, I think maybe he thought maybe his defense could stop him. I don't know. I mean, his offense could go down and score. My fault. It could score. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking.
As I said earlier, Dave, we were here watching with about 6 or 7 people here. We're all coaches, of course. Not saying that, but during that overtime, we all sat there and we looked at each other and it was like a cricket, Dave. Nobody could talk. We're like, what did we just see?
Yeah.
And one of the other guys who coaches, he's a defensive guy. He's like, I agree. I would have deferred the ball. I would have took the ball. And we both looked at him like, do you know who their quarterback is? Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly.
And I made a point. I was like, even on Twitter, I got in battles. Even on Facebook, I got in battles, Dave, where I said, you know what? You win the coin toss. Give Patrick Mahomes the ball because the new rules, both teams gets a possession. This is college football. You have to go, kick off. But here's the thing. Niners come down. They get that quick score. That field goal there. You're up 3
field goal. Yeah.
So here's the thing. You got to kick off down there to the Kansas City Chiefs. They get the touchback at 25-yard line. You already know Andy Reid has already told Patrick Mahomes, hey, let me ask you something. What is Butker's range? Oh, we can get it from the 35-yard line to chip shot.
That's all you had to do is, yep.
Well, Patrick, all we have to do is get down to the 35-yard line. So you know what? Here's what we're going to do. 4 times 3, Dave. How many times do I say that? 4 times 3 equals a first down. Keep moving that ball. You are in 4-down territory all the way down to the 35-yard line. Then, once we're in Butker's range, take what the defense gives you. Take what the defense gives you, number one. If the play's there, take the shot. If it's not,
take the shot.
We have 3 downs to move the ball.
I kept saying this. Get to the 35. Get to the 35. Tie this thing up in 22.
That's all they had to do. But you know what?
That's what I was thinking. And I'm thinking, and then when they got to the 10, I'm like, oh man, it's trouble now. So.
But Dave, just one comment I want to bring up here really quick because this is something that I did see from Shanahan, and I actually seen this from Bosa too. Eileen brings up a great point. I don't think the Niners knew the new playoff rules.
There was talk on that on Facebook and Twitter and all the other fun stuff that you guys do.
There was a thing where they said,
and I did read that. I was surprised on that. That's Shanahan though. But you got to know that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You go. I'll send you guys the video. Now I'm actually going to post it on Out of the Box. Shanahan was quoted. I didn't know the rule changed.
Oh, God.
Joey Bosa on the defense side of the ball during the game as the game's going on. I think if we both get the ball, we deferred. That's all he said. I think we both get the ball, but we deferred. That was his quote. Here's the thing, Dave.
Okay.
It's a Super Bowl, Dave.
Yeah.
Prior meetings, Dave, are held in OTAs for rule changes for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, you had 17 regular season weeks, 3 weeks to playoff. That's 20 weeks, Dave. And you don't know a goddamn rule in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Well,
Right?
I don't think you're in that mode where you're thinking overtime when you're playing this game. I don't
But
think
Dave, I understand that. But here's the thing: you both get a ball. If I'm a coach and you're a coach on the team, Dave, I score a touchdown. You already know what you have to do. You can't tie.
I got to put up 7 if I lose.
So who's that advantage go? Who has the ball last? Correct.
Sure, that's but kicking the field goal didn't help, especially when you have 15 on the other side.
But here's the thing: you got the ball first. Okay, you know what? I understand you don't want to go out there and score a touchdown. You put fear into them. I go in and touchdown. But odds are, Dave, as a betting person, as a coach, I'm going down and I'm saying, you know what? I'll give you the ball first because I like to know if we stop you, you get 3. Okay,
right?
You get 3. That's fine. You get 3. Then here's my play sheet, Dave, right here. I have to score 3 to tie the game. To win the game, I scored 7.
7.
Damn right. I want the ball second because I want to know what if I
sure, you want to know what you're down and what you need. Exactly.
To me, it was a bluff what Shanahan did, Dave. He took the ball first. It was a bluff. Like, okay, I know what we're going to do. We're bluffing you. We have 2 pair. You think we have 2 pair, but we ain't got shit, number one.
Yep.
Andy Reid on the other side says, okay, you know what? You showed your hand. You have 2 pair. But you know what? Here's the deal. The only thing that's going to win this game is a full house or 4 of a kind or a straight. That's what's going to win the game. I know what my cards say I have to win. I'm winning on the river, the flop as a betting person of 5 cards. I'm betting on what I need here, and I'm going to take my chances on what I have to do. You gave me a dealer when they lift up the card and say, hey, this is what we're showing you. That's what Shanahan did to him, Dave.
Yeah,
he gave him an advantage.
He did. And he took it and run with it.
Andy can't run, but I'll tell you what, he's a genius.
I'll tell you what, he saw the cheeseburger in the end zone. That's what he was thinking.
You know what? Hey, I don't know if they have In-N-Out there. I know it's on the West Coast, but but God, you got to give this guy a cheeseburger paradise.
And he wanted the 5 guys. He said, "Let's go."
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you got a cheeseburger, brother. Michael says Shanahan was thinking wasn't the smartest guy in the room at overtime. You know what? It backfired on him, Michael.
It did. It really did. Yep.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it how you defer. You take the ball and not defer in overtime, Dave.
Yeah, I think I would have gave the ball to Kansas City first and said,
Pat,
you guys
checking in. What's going on, Pat? How you been, brother?
Hey, Gobbler, man. What's happening, baby?
Definitely. Let's see. Michael says the 49ers complained about their training facility all week, and then they overtime rules, and they hear excuses. I get that, but there's Mike. I'm going to leave that up there. We'll talk about that for a second. I did see there, where they practiced that. That field was really bad. It really was. But I don't call that really whining. I call that safety. I call that more safety than anything. I don't know. I have a little disagreement with there. To me, safety first, of course. If I take my team, I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, we went down and we played in all the way up past Pittsburgh. And I'll tell you what, it was the most worst conditions I've ever seen. I actually walked off the field and I called the AD, our administrator for Pop Warner, and I said, hey, I am not practicing here. I'm going to take my team to the opposite side over here and practice on this field. It's against the rules. I'm like, well, then you know what? I forfeit the game because I'm not putting my kids on this field. To me, it's a little bit of safety. It's a little bit of safety to me. I get that. I do hear excuses, of course, from the fans, mostly the fans. And here's a great comment before we move on, Dave. The Niners defense was gassed.
They were. I'll give her that. They were at the end of the overtime. Right before the game was over, after overtime, they were. When we
were talking, here at the game here, and the defensive coach, he's like, "Oh, I'll take the ball." To me, he made a great point, and I think Eileen said this in the group chat, or she said it to me as well, where I kind of agree because the Niners defense going into that overtime was gassed. Mm-hmm. So you know what? You want to give that defense a little bit of rest because you're playing against Patrick Mahomes 15 in overtime. So do you say, well, my defense is gassed, so I'm going to keep them off the field, and go offense first, drive down, get what we can get that defense fresh because then again, you think about who's on the other side, Patrick Mahomes. I want a fresh defense to go against Patrick Mahomes. You could look at it both ways, but I tell you what,
You can.
Still as a coach, I don't care what you do. I don't care who I'm playing. I don't care if Tom Brady's out there, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. I'm taking the ball second, Dave, because I want to know what I have to do.
I totally agree with you, Paul. I can't argue with that. I would have taken the ball second too. I would have said, "Hey, give the ball to Kansas City, see what they can do, and then let me, But that's not what they did.
No, it's not. I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda, Dave. We talked about
coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
But the one thing I've got a couple more comments before we get into that, Dave. I want to read you something here, okay?
Okay.
We talked about Shanahan being the head coach. Of course, he's still there, Dave. He's still job.
Yeah, he's still there.
Dave, I want to read you 5 names real quick, okay?
Okay.
Steve Wilkes, defensive coordinator. Anthony Lynn, run game coordinator. Clint Kubiak, passing game coordinator. James Craig, assistant O-line coordinator. Daryl Tapp, assistant D-line coordinator. Dave, all fired in 2 days.
Blows my mind on all levels.
What's up, Dave?
Yes.
What's going on?
What's going on? Dan, we're talking
How
about,
are you?
We are talking about the coaches from the Niners that just get fired in the last 2 days.
I haven't even paid attention. Who got fired?
We got Steve Wilkes, the DC, of
Steve
course.
Wilkes.
He's still jobless. Anthony Lynn, running game coordinator. He goes to the Commanders, same position, lateral move. Clint Kubiak, passing game coordinator. He's a lateral move to the Saints. James Gregg, assistant O-line. He goes to the Raiders. Daryl Tapp, assistant D-line coach, fired, goes to the Commanders. Dan, I want to ask you real quick. How the hell does Shanahan still have a job? Did he need a scapegoat? Saying, it wasn't me. It was everybody else.
Steve Wilkes was his
So basically, the offense just didn't do enough in the game.
They didn't get the ball to CMC in the fourth quarter. What happened?
How many minutes were they on the field in the game, the defense for 49ers? I'm just curious. But their whole staff got fired basically, and Shanahan didn't. Like, what's up with that?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. And here's a great one right here. Just like Shaggy used to say, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
And he got caught banging on the bathroom table or the kitchen table, and he still said it wasn't me. And he got away with it.
Yes, he did. I mean?
But oh my God,
that's crazy. I didn't even look. After the Super Bowl, I just totally forgot about this. So I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm not thinking about football till it's draft time for my team.
Dan, you know what? I want to read this comment. There's a question. I want to read that in a second here because we can talk about that one as well. But here's my question to you, Dan. Dave and I already talked about it. Dan, you win the coin toss in overtime. Do you take the ball or do you defer the ball?
Defer. If I'm getting if I know I'm getting the ball back for sure, I'm going to defer. So even though my defense is just on the field, at least I know if they score 3, all right, I can,
You know what you got to do.
I'd rather know what I have to do than leave it up to the defense because basically the game is all on the defense, and I'd rather have the game be on the offense. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it does.
Because I don't know. That way, I don't know. I would have definitely deferred.
You gave Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes the knowledge to know that they had to get down to the 35-yard line just to tie the game, to push the game to overtime. Worst being. So you're in 4 down territory from the 25-yard, your own 25, all the way down to their 35-yard line. 4 plays. That's all we need. You're going for it. Once we get to the 35-yard line,
exactly.
We got the best kicker. We got Butker.
Harrison Butker, baby.
We know he can get the 3 points. As at worst, we go into double overtime, sudden death here. We know that. But you know what?
Yeah.
Take what they give you from the 35-yard lines in. The open playbook is wide there. If 4th down, 4th and 6, we might not go. For 4th and 1, we might go. We can go for the field goal. If not, tie the game. Let's just go to death here. But I tell you what, I just don't understand what Shanahan was thinking. Now, we do have a question. Pat brings up a question here. Being an Eagles fan. I wonder if Andy Reid would have left Philly 4 years prior, would he have won more rings?
Great question.
You know what?
They didn't have their Mahomes.
They didn't. That's the thing. You got to look at what his puzzle pieces are, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get that, but Mahomes is the difference maker. He's a great coach.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Mahomes, they're not as good as they are, in my opinion.
Here's the thing, Pat. Here's the thing. Ask yourself this question, okay? And Pat, you guys don't know Pat. He's a great friend of mine. I've known him for over 30 years. I call him my third son, no matter what in the world. Love the kid like my third son. But Pat, I ask you this. Go back to Andy Reid when he had Alex Smith as a quarterback.
Yeah.
What would he have done with Alex Smith versus a Patrick Mahomes? It's pieces of the puzzle where he sets into place. That scheme, what he has, yes, he had Tyreek Hill. The scheme works. He had Tyreek Hill. Look what they did with Tyreek. Tyreek goes away. Miko Hardman, Kadarius Toney, Juju Schuster, last year before he left.
But it wasn't like that this year.
No, he puts players in positions to go with scheme. Yeah. Schematically wise, Andy Reid is a freaking genius.
Well, Alex Smith is good. Alex Smith was a good quarterback for his injury too. So,
true, but you need puzzle pieces to go. And I tell you what, I think the best thing for Andy Reid was being in Philadelphia with all the negative talk saying you can't win this, your play calling sucks, your time management sucks, because you know what? As I told earlier, Dave,
he was in Philly for what, 12 years, 13 years?
I think Andy Reid is such a genius where he has a playbook of everything that worked and didn't work for the past 12 years. And he goes back and reads that. Dan, that play right there, trips right, F shuttle, Tom and Jerry, was the same play he used in the goddamn Super Bowl last year against the Eagles. Twice on 2 scores. Offensive genius.
He's a good offensive mind. He always has.
Agree.
Wasn't Andy Reid a quarterback coach in Green Bay before he was the head coach?
He was under the Holmgren tree and all those guys. Yes,
I was going to say he was under the Holmgren tree. I thought he was. Yeah,
it's an insane tree. It's an insane tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yep. Michael says, "Well, the Eagles gave Sirianni to be fired or cleared your staff. Shanahan got the same choice, I assume." But you know what? How do you guys feel about that? Because I tell you what, I don't know. I don't know. Shanahan. I don't know what to say. I think it was a scapegoat. Where do you keep that? Do you keep that name Shanahan? Because think about it. What? Okay. Let me just say this: if you got rid of Shanahan, what is out there as a head coach? Vrabel, Belichick. I think they kept the best name.
I guess it makes sense they kept him. I mean,
it does.
Well, I think out of those two, Belichick would be the major guy, honestly.
But another thing you should give Shanahan for is at least Brock Purdy. At least they coached him right. They handle him.
He groomed him. He groomed him. Yeah, he groomed him.
And that I will definitely say.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Yep. Bo answers that question. Bo says no, Patrick, because he didn't. I agree. That's why I brought up Alex Smith there. I mean, you look at these. Let's disregard Alex Smith's injury. Okay, I don't think this team. I don't think this team would have been even close to being superior like Kansas City is now with Alex Smith versus Patrick Mahomes. No way in hell. No way in hell.
They'd be good.
Good, right.
I think they would be good too. I don't think they'd be as good as they are.
Mahomes can do that Alex Smith could never do in a million years.
Extend plays, keep it alive,
Extend. True. He's got a way better arm. I don't know. He's just a way better quarterback. Just plain and simple. I like Alex Smith, but it's not the same. You have someone like Mahomes.
I'm reading this comment. Reid isn't winning anything in Kansas City without Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that to a point, but Reid did. I don't. I know. Go back to the Eagles. I mean, I know he didn't win with McNabb, but he did get to the Super Bowl a few times with McNabb. So,
I understand that. That's why I said I think his years in Philadelphia were the greatest asset to him because he learned what should have been done. Could have.
I know he didn't win with McNabb, but got there with McNabb many times.
I think with Alex Smith they would have won some AFC division championships.
I think so too. I mean,
because you look at what's in that division, they ain't arguably the best in the division. Of course, they are. They're superior, but they are. But getting to the pinnacle where they are, I don't think they would have won anywhere near.
But last year didn't Kansas City win the division last year?
Of course, yeah, yes.
Okay, were they the number? What seed were they? Were they the 1 seed last year too?
They were the 1 seed.
Were they?
They were close. I don't know.
I think they were. I know they had home field advantage, so they were 1 and 2.
All right. My point being is from last year, if they weren't, I mean, this year they were the number 3 seed, and they took it. Right, exactly. And last year, if they were the number 1 seed,
I was going to bring that comment up.
Bo says Reid would have made the playoffs without Mahomes, but 6 straight AFC champions, 4 Super Bowls. No, I agree with that 100%.
No way.
Yeah, they would have made the playoffs because, like I said, that division is really bad. I mean, you got the Raiders, the Broncos.
Their defense is good too, Kansas City. So, they would have been a low-scoring defensive win if they won a Super Bowl.
Agree. But what I want to ask you guys really quick is, Dave, I know you took the Chiefs +2, so you won a couple dollars, right?
I did. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And all I want to do is just pat myself on the back really quick because, guys, I've been telling you this. take the touchback. It's easy money. It's free money every year. I put $1,000 on it. I won $1,400. Well, 1560 is what I won. But the one thing I tell you what, I was on the edge of my seat. I had no coin in the game, really. Who won? Who cares? I bet both sides of the ball here to win. But the one thing I want to say is thank you, Travis Kelce, so much because he gave me that last catch on 6 of my parlays. You guys remember that in the group chat I posted? I was like, all I need is this
you threw that thing up.
One damn catch for me. But I ended up winning $4,600 total on the Super Bowl this year.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Great. Yeah. But
good for you.
Guys, how about before we get out of here, how about we do some sponsorships then?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just going to say sponsor time, baby.
Yeah, hey Dan, how about because you know what? I didn't drink Monkey Cold coffee. I got my Sheets coffee, which tastes like shit up here. But Dan, how about you talk about some Monkey Cold coffee?
MonkeyColdCoffee.com, the evolution of flavor infused coffee. Use the promo code OTB Sports at the checkout. At MonkeyColdCoffee.com to get 10% off your order. They have a new flavor, newest flavor, honey agave. They also have a barrel aged honey flavor. So they make an excellent product. They have cake cups, t-shirts, cold brew maker. So get your bag of coffee today and use the promo code OTB Sports at the checkout. And MonkeyColdCoffee.com to get 10% off your order.
Definitely. Just like Dan said, please reach out to MonkeyColdCoffee.com, OTBS Sports for your 10% checkout. That's the checkout register there. Also, guys, if you need some legal help, please reach out to 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey. First in New Jersey, Cherry Hill, 3 Greensboro Lane, of course, the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia, 1628 JFK Boulevard, and in my neck of the woods, Cambria County up here, Pittsburgh, PA, 500 Grant Street. Make sure you reach out to Jason Fine. No recovery, no fee. You mentioned out of the box, and one of our proud operators take the call. Hell, who knows? You might even get me on the phone when you talk about it. Just don't call me with some bullshit, please. Okay? Tell me you're a Niners fan in Philadelphia that you feel bad. It ain't going to happen, Reach out to them. No recovery, no fee. I promise you, if we take your case, not 50, not 45, not 40, not even 35. 33 1/3%. Name another lawyer that's going to give you 33 1/3% guaranteed rate, no recovery, no fee. Reach out to 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, Big Al.
Attorney Big Al.
You already know. A couple more comments real quick. Eileen, I won no monies. I was going to win $5 in the free line to the game winning TD. I know you text me about that. I felt so bad. It's insane, isn't it? But I mean, I cover my ass when I bet. Dave, we talked about this all the time. I show you different things what I do. I cover my ass, but I don't play. This year, I didn't really win on the game. I played individual lines is what got me, Yeah,
I took the game. I took the game itself and won some money.
Yeah, I think said free con. Yeah, I know she's always on that DraftKings free contest line. I've been trying to do that, but I don't know. I couldn't even hit on one free. Here's the other thing. I did remember we talked about the Taylor Swift sighting. It was 6.
It was over 5. That's for sure.
It was 6.5, and so was Travis Kelce's catch line. So I took both of them.
There you go.
If Travis Kelce catches the ball, Taylor Swift's going to be on TV.
Did you guys notice what color the Gatorade was?
Purple.
Who
would have thought? I lost that
one. I was thinking red. I'm cheating for Big Red. That's what I was thinking.
I lost that one. But then before we get out of here, we're going to be out for another about 10 minutes here. What do you want to final thoughts about this Super Bowl, brother?
It was a great game. It came down in the end, but the thing that sticks out to me is the fumble on the punt return on following on the ball.
Yes.
And you let Mahomes hang around. You let them hang around. They'll kill you. That's really the big. You let them hang around. You give them enough rope to hang yourself. You'll do it. So. No pun intended.
It was fun. I forgot what group chat it was in because we're in so many group chats here out of the box, But my thing is this. I forgot who said this to me. In the first half, there was no Super Bowl MVP, was there?
No.
The third quarter, it leaned a little way, but that fourth quarter, my God, there was only one Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Correct? What do you guys think?
My pick was Kelce for the MVP. I was off on that one, but
I thought it was going to be McCaffrey. He had 100.
Yeah, I thought Kelce yards. For sure. That was my pick.
160 total yards for McCaffrey.
But isn't it crazy, Dan, that you're the leading rusher for your team and the leading receiver, and Patrick McCaffrey 80 yards on both sides there? Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That is interesting without a doubt.
And he scored on the trick play. Dan.
Yeah. Scott checking in. What's going on, Scott? How you been, brother? Now we did talk about this. My question is this: I was like, Dan, before you got on here, I said this. Well, let's read Scott. How the hell do 49ers not know the OT rules? Dave, as I said to you earlier, the rule committee comes out with these rules
prior to the
season. This is what the NFL players meeting is all about. Coaches meeting, they go all over the rules, pass interference rules, Super Bowl rules. They all have it on here. So you play 17 weeks, okay? Doesn't take a genius to know that. You have 3 weeks of playoff. That's 20 weeks of rule acknowledgement.
Yep.
How the hell do you not know what the rules are?
I don't know.
And your job is
I think their mentality was they were going through the rules in the regular season overall time. That's what they were thinking. I don't think they were thinking,
Well, there's one word that I can say: you're unprepared for the Super Bowl.
Right, that's totally true. But I think that their mindset was regular season, regular rules.
I get it because you guys know I coach, and when I go to the big game the last 2 years, I get overconfident and I double guess myself. Like, okay, I got to score here, I got to do this. Sometimes I look at my playbook and say, oh shit, screw that. I'm going here with my heart. I'm going to go here.
Yep.
Time of the moment is totally different. I get that, but brother, come on, man. You've been to 3 goddamn Super Bowls. This ain't your first rodeo.
Right, this is true.
You're one of the leading coaching.
I mean, I'm not defending Shanahan by any stretch. I think that's what the mentality they were going with. That mentality going into that overtime.
Okay, here the last thing I want to talk about this. Okay, if I'm Kyle Shanahan and you know what, Coach, what are we calling? Hey, call that tails. It never fails. Let's go for it. We win the coin toss, okay? And what do you want? Oh, we want the ball. Patrick Mahomes said, "Shit, we defer. We want that side right away." Yep. He's smart. So if I'm Shanahan and you're the players for me right there. Okay, and you say, why the fuck did we take the ball? Why? What is he doing? Yeah. How do you feel as a player when I say, let's take the ball first? What goes through your head? As a player for me on the other side, I'm saying, does he know he has passion?
Well, if I'm a player on the other side, I'm saying, thank you very much.
What do you say as a player on your team? You know, in the locker room and outside the locker room, Dave, I know you're texting Dan saying, that son of a bitch is stupid. Okay.
Exactly.
But at least like if Kansas City, but also the Chiefs wouldn't be as urgent either. They would have just taken the 3. Like if they got the ball first, they would have just taken the 3, and they're like, all right, I could win the game on this drive, or maybe they don't score. Maybe you make them punt. I think that the Chiefs handle that drive differently if they don't get the ball first.
Well, Dan, go back to that.
Do get the ball first.
Right, but that 4th and 1 was huge. That was the game there.
It was huge. But
think about it. The 4th and 1 that Mahomes had that huge run, that 15-yard run on the overtime. If they stop it, the game's over.
Yeah, but they're not going for it on 4th down.
No, not they got the ball first. No, they're not. No.
Right. Right. Okay.
That's what I mean. They ain't risking that because you don't get that and they get a ball back at like the 40 or 30. That they're done.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that ball was at the 40, 43, 45-yard line when he ran that 4th and 1. Dan brings up a great point, as I said earlier. You think about that play call. They get the touchback at the 25-yard line. They have to go from that 25-yard line, their own 25, to the 35-yard line of the Niners.
At least, yeah.
Four down territory. They got to go, okay? That assumes that, okay, Andy Reid playbook, everything is open, 1 through 4. Play 1 through 4 here. We're running again. Then when you get to the 35-yard line, it says, you know what? If the shot's there, take it. Put the dagger in right away. Win this game. If not, playing for what we came here, at least get the tie to go to sudden death.
Sure.
The plays were totally different, but you gave one of the best OCs and head coaches in the game, Andy Reid, the knowledge to know, like, you know what? At worst, I can tie the game. At best, I can win the game. I'm going to do what I have to do. They wouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 1 at the 45-yard line. They wouldn't have done that. I think they would have took the advantage and kicked it if they had the ball first. Put the ball in your.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Scott says unbelievable. I agree 100%. How crazy is it? My Eagles were up by 10, and the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator came back on like they did Niners, scheming, play calling, and knowing your tangibles of the game. You know,
good teams come back.
And the thing is,
if San Francisco falls on that fumble and doesn't try to pick it up,
sure.
Maybe that makes a big difference.
And the other thing is, like I said, with the playbook here, you go back to the Scott. I know you're an Eagles fan. I hate saying this, but go back and watch that game. You know, go back and watch the Kansas City game versus the Eagles. Same damn play was ran on you twice for last year. You know? But last year was different. It was trips left. F shuttle, Tom and Jerry. This year, trips right, F shuttle, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Same damn play. That's called to me knowing your team where they, as I always say, as an offensive coordinator, I have my guy next to me watching that linebacker. Did they bite? Hey, Paul, they bit.
I thought the play was phenomenal when you watch it. I mean, go back in slow motion and watch that. How the receiver came down. He was on the in motion, goes back to the right side, and he was wide open.
Phil,
it wasn't even close.
Yep. Right after the show here, you can check out myself and Phil out in about 15 minutes here coming up. So we're going to get out here, get a couple minutes here. Phil, my co-host on that show as well. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl recap. Same thing we're doing here. Get Phil's side of the story. Phil says, I call the defense matchup all the way. Spags had a game plan. Steve Wilkes relied on talent. One injury to San Francisco was the game. Spags had his fourth Lombardi. Wilkes is still on the red line. I agree with that 100%. There's a difference between having talent.
Big freaking loss.
It was.
It was. But you think about.
Did you know, Dan? Did you notice who noticed that on the other side of the field? Mahomes was the first guy to see that. He told his player. He said, "Guys, look."
They attacked that area of the field. Where
he saw that right away. It was like, wow,
I think Kelsey ran like an in or a drag, like across the field. He's wide
open.
A couple of times. The last drive Kansas City had when they're going down, we're down 3.
Mm-hmm.
There were guys wide open on like 4 of those plays. Like why? Like what are they doing on defense?
Yeah.
It was like they spread the field. They spread the field and play boundaries of the football. The whole field. They utilize the whole field. Where you take Greenlaw in the game, you have Warner being your excellent back there. He can't compensate for double teaming Kelsey or on a drag route or any kind of like slant. He can't compensate for that. But going back to what Phil said there, exactly. Spags had a game plan. You can have the best players on the field, but if you don't put them in timely positions and schemes to manipulate another offensive, or defense, vice versa, it goes a long way. That play calling and coaching is key here. And 100%. And congratulations, Spags, man, getting a 4-year deal today. Extension.
Yeah, Spags was a big deal. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he was a big commodity too. Scott checking in, fellas. Enjoy the evening. Till next time. Peace. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for checking in, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Scotty doesn't know.
But you know what? Hey, Dan, real quick, we're going to take next week off because I think we need a week after this Super Bowl here. But you know what? Dan, we got something going on here in a couple weeks, brother. The NFL Weekly Talk with myself and Dan, draft talk, team needs, trades, roster, division rankings. Dan, we're going to go on the NFC North this week in 2 weeks. We're going to go with division by division, and we're going to talk about each team, what they want to do, what they should do, what the roster looks like, and we're going to go all the way through the NFL season this year, brother, me and you.
There you go.
Right.
Sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
All right. So, Dan, what do you got going on, brother? What do you got going on here at this beautiful network called Out of the Box Sports Entertainment?
Probably have a Big Blue Power Hour show coming up, probably in like a week or so. Right. Probably when the combine arrives, which is March.
Gotcha.
So I don't know when the combine is. I know it's in March.
I think it's in March.
I think it's the last week of March prior there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, Mr. Dave, what do you have on, Mr. I took the Kansas City +2.
Yeah. I will not be on Saturday night with Big Ken at on the Time and Drop podcast. I will be in AC with my wife enjoying a late Valentine's weekend, which we didn't get a chance to do. So I'll be on the next Saturday, the following week, for the Time and Drop podcast. So you guys want to check us out Saturday night. I think Eddie and I believe Big Ken will be on at 10:00. Check them out. They'll have a great show. I know they will. And I'll be on the following Saturday with Big Ken, and you can catch me then.
All right. Well, before that, you're going to be on next Wednesday with me because we got a lot to talk about. New DC.
Oh, I didn't. Are we doing? Okay, fine. I'm good with that too.
The boss has spoken. They just told me from out of the box. I just got the email saying you better tell Dave, and your ass better be on there too. So we're going to be talking to 215 Boys Wednesday at 9:30.
Okay, so you can catch me next Wednesday night, 215 Boys, 9:30, and we'll be talking Cowboy football.
All right. And also, right after this, guys, you can check myself and Phil Haney out, the stash down in Tampa Bay. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. I want to hear how he's talking about it there as well. So, guys, listen. Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're everywhere. Please like, share, subscribe. Follow us out there. We got great content. We're not only just one team. We cover all the teams out there. If you look at the Twitter, 6,000 followers can't be wrong. We're doing something right out there. You know what I mean? So make sure you like, share, subscribe.
You guys have a great show next Thursday night, and I know you guys will be fine. So,
what's that?
I see you guys have a great show next Thursday night. And enjoy.
Off next Thursday night, Dave. We're taking a week off.
I'm sorry. 2 weeks off. 2 weeks. I'm sorry. My fault.
Definitely. So any parting words, guys? I mean, we have like 5 minutes here. Dave, I'll let you go first. What was your final thoughts in this NFL season, brother?
Stressful. Stressful. It was a lot of stuff we didn't see coming. A lot of different things this year. A lot of teams rose to the occasion. Some didn't, but at the end of the day, it was the same team that won last year. So congrats to them. And next year, hopefully it's somebody different, and it's my team. So that's all I got.
Sorry, Dave. I had to get that one out there, brother.
Hey, Go ahead, Dan. I'm done.
Dan, what can you say after that one, brother?
I don't know. I just want to forget the season. All I can think about our O-line sucks ass. And I want to forget about this season entirely for the Giants. That's all I can think about right now. Thank God it's over. Thank God.
I'm glad it's over, too.
I'm glad it's over. At least you guys made the playoffs, but I'm glad it's over, man. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, my final thoughts is I'm glad to end the season on a good laugh because Dave just enlightened me so much with that comment there, about the Cowboys. Maybe we can win it next year. That's funny to me. But you're right, Dan. I'm so glad the season's over. Kudos to what we've seen this year. We've seen some great things from individual players all the way down to team football. It showed me that one thing this year, heart goes a long way when you have a Kansas City team that's rode off for the season, road warriors to Super Bowl champions, something that I didn't think, a lot of us didn't think could happen. Kudos to them. A lot of changes. Anything is possible. Exactly. Coaching goes a long way. But I just want to say, as an NFL fan, thank you for another great season out there. It was great doing the show with everybody here. I just love football, man. It's something I love watching ever since I was a little kid. Played it, loved it, still coach it. And I just want to say thank you. And also, you guys better get the hell ready because we're coming this year. I'm ready. I'm running the Andy Reid playbook to my team out there. So you guys better get ready because we're going to have one hell of a season this year. So, guys, ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Dan Connor. That is Dave Yarnell. Dan and I will be back on in 2 weeks talking NFC North, of course. Dave, you can check him out on the Atomic Drop Ball as well as the 215 Boys coming up this week, too.
Thanks for letting us talk to you. Yeah.
What the hell was that about?
Sorry, wrong show.
Oh, Dave. I thought you were talking about the Cowboys. Let me talk to you because, Dave, there ain't shit to talk about. Okay, be honest.
No, I said thanks for letting us talk to you.
Oh, okay, Dave. Dave, you got it. That's what it is. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Check it out. Stay tuned down in the box here. Coming up in 7 minutes, myself and Phil, we're going to recap the Super Bowl as well. So everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LOTB, Box Sports, everywhere. Thank you, guys. And, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks. Until then, have a good weekend. And, Dave, enjoy your time with your wife this week since you won $100. Make sure you treat Amanda right because she's a bone.
I definitely will. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. And I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Yeah.